may I stand here, Your Honor?
Yes,
Thank you.
just step back a little bit.
Yep.
That's not saying I might not or may not be on board with this idea. I'm not stating either which way. I'll leave it to your imaginations.
Dr. Russell, what I would like to do is to give the jury a fair representation. I'll withdraw that.
Commentary, I think I'm sure.
Why don't you bring the reports over?
Sidebar again. Huh. Interesting. There we go.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, proceed.
Yes.
Thank you. Dr. Russell, I am handing you this letter with from Dr. Walsh, and what I am going to do, and you just tell me if I do it correctly, I'm just going to read 2 paragraphs, okay? And you just tell me if I'm reading it correctly. In totality, the injuries documented in the autopsy report and photographs are non-specific and may be the result of a variety of different mechanisms. No additional information was provided regarding the possible circumstances or events surrounding the death. The absence of additional information prohibits the attribution of injuries and contribution of findings to a specific underlying cause of death. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor. Thank you, Dr. Russell.
All right, Dr. Russell, you are all set.
Thank you.
I'm going to have this marked for identification.
Thank you. We appreciate you. This is our Nana, and we love you and appreciate you. Anybody want to guess who's up next? No, they're not done for the day. That's right. I believe Lucky's the next one.
And the next witness is who? Who's the next witness?
Thank you, Tim.
Yes, just tell me the name because I need to know whether we need to go to sidebar first.
Ew, what would Diddy be doing there? He's busy in prison.
Okay, thank you.
I feel like we should have been like placing bets on this the whole time. Hi, Mel. I hope you had a good day.
Just almost said the evidence you give to the court and jury in the case down here is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you. I did.
Good afternoon. All right, Mr. Jackson, you are all set.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon, sir.
Could you please state your full name, spell your last name for the jurors, please?
Nicholas Barrows, Barros,
And where do you currently work?
the town of Dayton, Dayton Police Department,
How long have you worked for the Dayton Police Department, sir?
since 2011.
No, this is just as close. Just as close. Nicholas Barrows. He works for the other department where Karen's vehicle was when they went to pick it up. Just wait. Get your cashews ready, guys.
And what's your position there currently?
Currently, I am a sergeant.
What's your duty assignment as a sergeant? What do you do?
I supervise the 4 to midnight shift.
We'll get to that in a little bit more detail in just a second. A couple more foundational questions. How long have you been a police officer altogether?
Since 2011, so going 14 years.
And what education and training and background do you have that qualifies you to do your duties as a sergeant, a supervisor at the Dayton Police Department?
I completed
No
the
spoilers.
police academy. I hold a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I've been to many trainings as a police officer and as a supervisor.
Thank you, Maria.
When did you get your bachelor's degree?
2012.
Is the Dayton Police Department an autonomous police department for the city? In other words, is it a branch of, say, for instance, Massachusetts State Police, or is it an autonomous department?
It's on its own.
Okay. It's not in any way connected to the Canton Police Department, I presume?
Correct.
Is it in any way connected to the Massachusetts State Police
It
Department?
is not.
As a supervisor, are part of your duties to oversee subordinate officers in their daily fare, whatever that may be?
Yes.
Does that include anything having to do with crime scene investigation,
To an extent.
witness interviews?
No, that would be the detective bureau.
What about working and coordinating with detectives?
To an extent.
Collection of evidence or working with detectives as they collect evidence?
They would collect evidence.
Maintaining crime scene protocols, things of that nature?
Correct.
All right. As a sergeant with the Dayton Police Department, are you a trained observer?
I am.
Would you consider all of your subordinates, the patrol officers, day-to-day officers, are they also trained observers?
They are.
Is that part of policing?
It is.
Describe that a little bit for the jurors so we understand.
We are in the police academy. We are told to watch everything. It's our heads on a swivel. We are always looking because we don't know what the unknown is.
When you say you don't know, is it true that you don't necessarily know what might become relevant later that may be needed in court?
Correct.
I want to draw your attention to January of 2022, a few years ago. January 29th, 2022, did you have any, you personally, officer, did you have any personal relationship with the Canton Police Department?
I did not.
Did you have any personal relationship with a trooper from the Massachusetts State Police named Michael Proctor?
I did not.
Do you have any relationship with a person by the name of Brian Higgins, an ATF agent?
I did not.
Do you have any relationship with a Boston police officer known as Brian Albert?
I did not.
Did you know any of the witnesses or individuals involved in an ongoing investigation related to the death of Boston police officer John O'Keefe?
I did not.
On January 29th, 2022, did you receive some sort of a call to respond to a particular location? I don't want the address of the location. We'll get to that in a second. Did you receive some sort of a call in the afternoon?
I did.
Describe that for the jurors, please.
Around 2:30 in the afternoon, I received a call from the troopers assigned to the Norfolk District County DA's office in regards to a vehicle that was at a residence in the town of Dayton.
What were you asked to do? Why did you get that call?
The troopers said that they were coming into my jurisdiction, and as a courtesy, they wanted me to respond with them.
Is that sort of normal protocol? If you go into somebody else's jurisdiction, you let them know?
Yes.
So that was not necessarily unusual.
No.
About what time did you receive that first call?
The first call was around 2:30 in the afternoon.
Was there a log,
Mr.
are
Jackson.
logs kept of those kinds of things? If you get a call, you respond to
Yes.
location?
Yes.
At some point after you received that first call, did you receive any other call specifying a time of arrival for the MSP troopers, anything like that?
I did.
Describe that for us.
I got a second call around 3 p.m. From Trooper Michael Proctor stating that he was about 10 minutes away from the address in Dayton.
At the point that you spoke with Michael Proctor, had you ever spoken to him in your professional or personal capacity ever before?
Never.
Did you know the name? Did you know who he was?
I did not.
Complete stranger.
Complete stranger.
What time did you actually arrive at the residence?
I arrived at the residence, I believe it was 3:27 p.m.
Sergeant Barrows, did you, I don't want the address, the cameras are rolling. Did you respond specifically to a residence in the city of Dayton?
Yes,
Did you at that time know who lived at that residence, who resided there?
I did.
How did you know that?
Early in the shift, when I came on at 8 a.m., the midnight shift, the outgoing shift, had told me that a resident of Dayton at that address had called looking for a ride to Brockton Hospital.
Who did you know at that time, or who did you believe at that time to live at the address that you are now responding to?
William Reed.
That was Reed, R-E-A-D?
Correct.
Okay. Did you know anything about his daughter at that time, or did you just know the name William Reed?
I just knew William Reed, the name.
At the time that Michael Proctor called you, did he say anything about what his intentions were once he arrived at the location?
Yes, his intention was to retrieve a vehicle that he said was involved in a homicide.
Did he specifically say to you at 3 o'clock-ish in the afternoon he intended to seize the vehicle?
I believe the first phone call, that was his intention.
Meaning all the way back to 2:30?
30 is when he first called me and said that they were coming to Dighton to retrieve a vehicle that occurred in a homicide in Canton.
And you understood that to mean what? Retrieve a vehicle?
Seize.
Thank you. What was your role once you arrived at the scene at the Reed household?
My role was Trooper Michael Proctor asked me to facilitate a tow to tow that vehicle.
Was that a private tow company?
Yes.
And when you say facilitate a tow, what does that mean?
He asked who we used for towing vehicles, and during that period of time, it was Diamond Towing.
Did Diamond Towing ultimately show up, a representative of that
They did.
tow company, with a tow truck?
Correct.
A flatbed?
Yes.
Who was with Trooper Proctor when you arrived at the scene?
Sergeant Buchanan.
Had you ever met Sergeant Buchanan before?
Never.
Did you know him?
Nope.
Do you know him professionally or personally?
Never.
Had you ever spoken to him?
Never.
Ever? I'm so sorry. It's getting late in the day. And I guess I'm going too fast. Sorry, my fault. Let's start that just a little bit slower. Did you know him?
No.
Had you ever spoken to him before?
No.
Had you ever heard his name before?
No.
No relationship whatsoever.
None.
Same with Trooper Proctor.
Correct.
Once you arrived at the residence, did you have an opportunity to see the vehicle that was the focus of Trooper Proctor and Sergeant Buchanan's attention?
Yes, once I arrived and I parked my cruiser at the end of the driveway, I observed a black Lexus SUV in the driveway.
What were you driving?
I was driving a Ford F-150 police cruiser.
A police cruiser that's a Ford F-150?
Correct.
They have those?
Yes.
Cool. Were you in full uniform?
Full uniform.
Gun, badge, the whole works?
The whole works.
Oops.
Did you ever go inside the house?
Briefly,
What was the circumstance of going inside the house?
I went inside to let the troopers know that the tow truck operator was there. And I also went in to ask how we're going to get the tow truck into the driveway because there was about a foot of snow.
Okay. That sort of answers my next question. Did you
We have another opportunity to get the flash goal that we missed this morning. So if you guys haven't sent your heart me's, we need 40 of them.
see whether or not Trooper Proctor and Sergeant Buchanan actually did go inside the residence?
Yes, they did.
For the bulk of the time that they were in the residence, where were you?
Outside the residence.
Were you with the black SUV?
I was in the garage speaking to the defendant's mother.
The defendant's mom?
Yes.
Janet? Okay.
Yes.
Where was the SUV at this point?
In the driveway.
Did you have an opportunity to see the SUV?
I did.
Did you walk all the way around it?
Not all the way around.
Did you see the rear end of it?
I did.
Did you make note of the rear end of it?
Yes.
How long would you say you were at the location in a position to observe the rear end of that SUV? 2 minutes, 20 minutes, something in between? Longer?
I would say not the entire time that I was there, but a good amount of time.
More than a glance.
Yes.
This is the
Thank you,
afternoon
guys.
of January 29th, 2022, correct?
Correct.
Before the vehicle had been seized formally by Trooper Proctor and Sergeant Buchanan, correct?
Correct.
21 more, guys.
Did you observe anything of note about the rear end of that black SUV?
Yes, I noted in a report that there was damage to the taillight,
Can you describe for the juror, by the way, which taillight are we talking about?
the right rear taillight.
Can you describe for the jurors what you noted in terms of the damage to the right rear taillight?
I noted that the report said that there was right rear damage.
The heart me, it's a flash goal. It's the one coin heart me thingy. That one right there. Yep.
That taillight.
When you say
Hold on, I
damage,
messed it up.
have you ever described that damage?
Briefly,
What was the circumstance of going inside the house?
I went inside to let the troopers know that the tow truck operator was there. And I also went in to ask how we're going to get the truck into the driveway because there was about a foot of snow.
Okay. That sort of answers my next question. Did you see whether or not Trooper Proctor and Sergeant Buchanan actually did go inside the residence?
Yes, they did.
For the bulk of the time that they were in the residence, where were you?
Outside the residence.
Were you with the black SUV?
I was in the garage speaking to the defendant's mother.
The defendant's mom?
Yes.
Janet? Okay.
Yes.
You know when you tell someone it's not going to do that, it's going to have the opposite effect, right? We have conversations here. If this isn't your cup of tea, I completely understand.
Where was the SUV at this point?
In the driveway.
Did you have an opportunity to see the SUV?
I did.
Did you walk all the way around it?
Not all the way around.
Did you see the rear end of it?
I did.
Did you make note of the rear end of it?
Yes.
How long would you say you were at the location in a position to observe the rear end of that SUV? 2 minutes, 20 minutes, something in between? Longer?
I would say not the entire time that I was there, but a good amount of time.
More than a glance?
He did, Sue.
Yes.
This is the afternoon of January 29th, 2022, correct?
Correct.
Before the vehicle had been seized formally by Trooper Proctor and Sergeant Buchanan, correct?
Correct.
Did you observe anything of note about the rear end of that black SUV?
Yes, I noted in a report that there was damage to the taillight,
Can you describe for the juror, by the way, which
No.
taillight are we talking about?
the right rear taillight.
Can you describe for the jurors what you noted in terms of the damage to the right rear taillight?
You'd have to go to YouTube for it.
I noted that the report said that there was right rear damage to that taillight.
When you say damage, have you ever described that damage previously?
I have.
Can you tell us what that
Yep.
description is?
There was, it was damaged, the taillight was damaged, but there was a crack missing, but it was not completely damaged.
When you say there was a crack, do you mean there was a piece missing?
A piece was missing.
Can you describe for the jurors kind of what that piece looked like, how big it was, how small, the shape, as you call it?
The piece was about maybe this big,
Is that maybe the size of a dollar bill, maybe 6 inches?
6 inches or
And
so.
how wide?
Maybe that wide, maybe 3 inches, 2 inches, somewhere in
Okay.
there.
I want to show you a photo. Your Honor, with the court's permission, I would like to show Exhibit 13. It's been previously marked.
The exhibit he's about to show, if you guys want to look at it, I did do a video of his testimony from the last trial and what they're about to show. It's under my Karen Reed tab.
Do you see what's depicted in this photograph?
I do.
What does that appear to be, just generally?
The right rear taillight,
Of what?
the Lexus SUV.
Is that consistent with the black Lexus SUV that you saw at the Reed residence?
That was the black Lexus. That was not the taillight the day I was there.
Can you do me a favor, Mr. Wolk? With the court's permission, can we zoom in on the right rear taillight, please?
Okay.
Do you see the condition of that taillight as it's depicted in this photo?
I do.
Sergeant Barrows, is this the condition of the right rear taillight when you showed up at the Reed household at around 3:15 in the afternoon on January 29th, 2022?
Absolutely not.
What's different about this photo, sir?
that taillight is completely smashed out.
Smashed out.
Does it appear that there are additional pieces
Thank
of
you, Tom.
taillight that are removed from this taillight condition than when you saw it at the Reed residence?
Sustained, ask it differently, Mr. Jackson.
Guys, we still need more heart me's. If you haven't sent your heart me's and you can, I would greatly appreciate it.
Of course. Describe
Thank you, Iggy.
specifically, other than the fact that it's different, describe in detail for the jurors
Thank you.
what is different about this taillight as it's photographed here.
That middle section was intact when I was there. Towards that right side where that large chunk is, that's what was missing.
I'm going to hand you
Thank you, guys.
a green laser pointer. If you can, there's two displays, one monitor directly in front of you and one to your right. If you could use the one to your right, it's a little easier on the jurors. Describe what's different about that taillight.
Can you see that? So this area was intact. This is what I saw was missing here.
Thank you, Kat.
May I approach?
Yes.
I hope he asks him
If
if
the
he's been
entire
bothered by
taillight
this.
had been broken out as it's depicted in this photograph, would you have made note of that?
Sustained.
Do you believe you would remember if the taillight, well, let me ask it a different way. The piece that you saw missing, but not completely damaged, is the reason that you use the phrase not completely damaged to highlight the fact that there was still more taillight attached to the vehicle that is depicted in this photo.
Sustained.
I was saying I hope that they ask him if he's gotten any blowback from this, any harassment whatsoever.
We can take this down.
Keep in mind, he did testify in the first trial.
As you sit here and recall back to that, your observations, and you observed this for over the course of how long would you say? How many minutes?
Probably 20 minutes or so.
5 more heart me's. Who's gonna do it? Who's gonna help us get there?
You actually wrote a report about this, correct?
Correct.
And you documented your observations, correct?
Correct.
In your documented observations, did you use the phrase cracked but not completely damaged?
I
Yes,
did
he
not.
did.
Sustained.
You've testified previously,
I have?
about a year ago.
Yes.
Did you use the phrase cracked but not completely damaged damage?
The objection sustained, Mr. Jackson.
We only have a little over 4 minutes to get our remaining heart me's. So if you haven't sent yours, please do. And if you have, thank you.
Ultimately,
Welcome back.
was the black Lexus SUV towed and cleared from the scene?
It was.
It's okay.
Is it your responsibility or part of your responsibility to log the time that things like this happen? Like, for instance, the SUV is taken away?
When I cleared from the scene, yes.
What time was that when you cleared the scene?
I believe it was 4:17 p.m.
When Hank objects, he says it very quietly. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Andy.
Suffice it to say,
This is Nicholas Barrows. He's the one that works for the department where Karen's vehicle was taken from. Karen's vehicle. The one that he just testified to did not have a destroyed taillight, just a cracked, just a little tiny piece missing. No, we work on
say
delays
that
here.
that SUV was not
Thank you, Diane.
seized at a later time, correct?
Correct.
It was not seized at 5:30 p.m.?
No.
I'd like to show you another exhibit, if I could. This is exhibit 105. Do you recognize this scene generally?
I do.
Do you recognize it as being, what do you recognize as being?
This is the Reed residence.
We achieved that flash goal. That means we're at number 23 that we achieved. Thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate it.
Do you see some vehicles in that still shot of the video?
I do.
Describe what you see.
That tow truck is Diamond Towing, and that other vehicle that's at the rear of that tow truck is the Lexus SUV.
If we could, with the court's permission, zoom in. It's high on the screen, correct?
What's that?
The vehicles are high on the screen as we're
Correct.
looking at it. Could we zoom in
Thank you.
to the top left portion of the screen?
Okay.
Can we play this video?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you see that? Do you notice there's not a white light right there?
Can you see what's depicted in the still image of that video right now?
I can.
I'm going to ask you if you'll turn to your right, concentrate on this area. This area here. Do you see what's depicted in that still image?
I do.
Does that appear to be a taillight?
Yes.
Does it look clear?
No, it's
Does it look
not.
like it's shining red?
Looks clear.
Passenger.
The portion that is intact, does that appear to be brighter red?
Correct.
And the photograph that I just showed you a second ago, is that red portion there?
Can you rephrase that?
Sure. Let's go back. You see the red?
Yes.
All right. Is that the condition of the taillight as you saw it on January 29th around 3?
The time of this video is the 29th of January 2022 at 16:12:32.
15 and 3:30 when you got to the location?
It was.
Let's go back to the other exhibit, please.
This is when they first bring the vehicle back to Canton. This is them picking it up.
Can we zoom in, please? Can you see that this entire area is now missing?
I can.
Sustained. Just ask it differently.
Sure. The area that I'm circling here,
You're welcome.
do you see any red lens in that area?
No.
Is that consistent, this photograph consistent with the condition of the taillight as you saw it on January 29th, 2022, at just after 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
Absolutely not.
Thank you.
Lights, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
For anybody that just missed it, this is Dayton PD Nicholas Barrows. He was there when the vehicle was taken from Karen's.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for the
Have we met
follows,
before?
guys.
We have not.
Do you still work in Dayton?
I do.
At the time you went to the Reed residence, you did not know the occupants?
I did not.
Since then, have you ever met or spoke to William Reed
Nope.
or the defendant?
Nope.
When you went there that day, it was at the request of the state police?
Correct.
When they asked you to come, it's a typical procedure for one law enforcement agency to contact local law enforcement agency?
Correct.
And part of the reason they do that is to bring in separate and independent law enforcement officer to the scene
Thank
Yes.
you,
because it's
Sabrina.
your jurisdiction.
Correct.
And they called you before they got to Mr. Reed's house, didn't they?
Yes.
They
I
told
don't
you
get
what
it
they were
either.
going to do and when they were going to do it.
Yes.
They didn't just show up at the Reed house and then you found out later. They invited you and informed you what the process was going to be.
I wouldn't say that they told me what the process was going to be.
Angie was told the same day, just later on.
When you got there, were the troopers already there or did they arrive after you?
The troopers were there.
Were they in the house or outside of the house when you got there?
They were outside in a pickup truck.
Did you see them get out of the pickup truck after you got there?
They got out after I identified themselves.
Did you ever see them approach and touch the rear taillight of the defendant's Lexus?
I did not.
Did you ever see them manipulate in any way that rear taillight of the defendant's Lexus?
I did not.
Did you see them do anything that was suspicious, inordinary, or unfairly remarkable relative to that car?
I did not.
When they spoke to you, they then went inside the house?
What do you mean by spoke to me?
After they introduced you, you introduced yourself to them, they went into the Reed house,
Yes.
and then they came out.
They came out much later.
And that vehicle was towed.
Correct.
At no time from when you got there until you left did you see anybody from the state police in any way tamper with that vehicle, did you?
I did not.
When the vehicle was towed, you know how long it took to take the vehicle from Dayton back to
Thank you so
Canton?
much.
How long?
Yes,
I did not.
you didn't escort it back.
I did not.
You had an opportunity to write a report in this case, didn't you?
I did.
And when you did, you had an opportunity to describe the damage to that taillight in any way you wanted to.
I did.
You could have gone into detail about size of the damage.
I could have.
You could have gone into detail about the shape of the damage.
I could have.
You could have gone into detail about the width of the damage.
I could have.
You could have taken photographs of the damage if you wanted to.
I could have.
In fact, there was no limitation on what you could have written in your report regarding the damage, was there?
No.
You write reports regularly, don't you?
I do.
You're trained to be a
But we know who doesn't write reports.
academy. It's the best way to memorialize events.
Correct.
Because in time, your memory is not always as good later on than it is at that moment.
Correct.
What might be important or remarkable later might not be remarkable at the time you're making the observation.
Right, you could have went
So
to
you're telling the
space.
academy to use as much detail as you can so that you can have an accurate memory later on.
Correct.
Because oftentimes, well, you respond to a number of different events and incidents, don't you?
I do.
You write a lot of reports.
Not necessarily now in this position that I'm in, but
Did you at the time?
at the time, correct.
Yeah. And so it's sometimes difficult to remember the details of all events, and you use the report to refresh your memory.
Correct.
When you wrote your report, and you could have put as much detail as you wanted, is it fair to say you only wrote one single line about the damage to the car?
Correct.
The vehicle had damage to the right rear taillight.
That's what I wrote.
Fair to say you didn't document that it was the size of a dollar bill. You didn't say that, did you?
No.
Or that it was 3 to 6 inches. You didn't mention that, did you?
No.
You didn't mention the placement of where the damage was.
To an extent, I did the right rear tail light.
Right rear taillight. You didn't indicate if it was on the side or on the back.
I did not.
You didn't provide any other details of your description when your memory was probably at its best. True?
True.
And would you agree that your memory that day was probably much more accurate than it is today?
I would not.
When you wrote the report,
Yes,
did
Lucky.
you ever have an opportunity to write a supplement report if you wanted to give more detail?
I guess I could.
You didn't.
I did.
Inevitably, you were
Listen, Hank, there's enough corruption in your own area. You don't need to go to another area for it. You got plenty, thank you.
a witness at trial. I'm sorry, you were a witness at a prior proceeding in this case, weren't you?
Correct.
You came in and you swore under oath regarding your memory,
Correct.
and that was probably a year to a year and a half after you first made the observations
Right.
which you reduced in writing in this police report.
Correct.
And when you made those observations, that was on January 29, 2022?
Correct.
When you came into court and you testified, that was on June 10, 2024.
If that was the date.
You were asked questions to use your best memory to describe the damage to that taillight last time you swore under oath to tell the truth, weren't you?
I don't think I was asked that.
What were you asked about to describe the best you could the damage to that right rear taillight last time you were in court on June 10, 2024?
I don't think I was told to describe it in depth.
Were you asked questions about the damage to that rear taillight last time you were in court?
I was.
And when you described the damage, did you do your best of your ability to give as much detail as possible?
I did.
Did you qualify your memory at that time, saying to the best of my ability and recollection?
I did.
And when you qualify as a police officer with the best ability and recollection, that is recognizing that time had passed.
He did the same thing with our Nana that was just on the stand too. Same thing. Sir, is it that hard to believe that somebody might think because someone's a police officer, they might be a stand-up human being and wouldn't go ahead and sabotage a vehicle?
Time has passed, yep.
That you had a report, that you could refresh your memory.
Correct.
And did you refresh your memory with that report before you testified last time?
I did.
And when you qualified that it was to the best of your ability and recollection that account for the fact that when you looked at the report, there was no detail other than your commentary in your report that the vehicle had damage to the right rear taillight.
Correct.
And so when you qualified,
His
you were considering
commentary?
human factors like time had passed,
Correct.
that your report was respectfully scant,
Correct.
that you had heard a lot about this case since that point, hadn't you?
Correct.
And so considering your memory in June of 2024, when you qualified your answer, was it considering all of those different factors that had passed in between that time?
Can you rephrase that?
Yes.
I
When
agree,
you
Lorian.
decided to qualify your answer, and you said to the best ability and recollection, and then you went on to describe what you remember from the break of the taillight, is the reason why you used that qualification to the best ability and recollection, is it because of those human factors that had passed?
I would suppose so.
And sir, since the time you came into court on June 10, 2024, have you spoken to anybody from the defense about this case?
Yes.
How many times have you spoken to somebody from the defense about this case after you gave your testimony on June 10, 2024?
Once.
Nicholas Barrow from Dighton PD.
Where
Officer
did you speak? Who did you
of
speak
the
to?
law.
Attorney Jackson.
Did you speak to him in person or on the phone?
In person.
Okay, don't. Okay.
Don't
You're
what?
not hesitating, are you?
No.
Where did you speak to him in person?
At his hotel.
Welcome.
How did you know where Attorney Jackson was staying?
He told me.
Did you find it odd to go visit an attorney at their hotel and talk about a case?
It was in their conference room.
He had thought he was hesitating, so he said, don't. Oh, I thought you were hesitating. He was going to use that to go hammer him, but he couldn't do it, in my opinion.
Hotel to speak to them about a case.
No.
Without saying the name of the hotel, where was the hotel located?
Boston.
And where were you located?
I don't feel comfortable telling you.
I'm sorry. Did you have to drive?
I did.
So you took the
Yes, and I want you guys to hear that one more time too. How far back do you need me to go?
June 10, 2024.
I don't think I was told to describe it in depth.
Were you asked questions about the damage to that rear tail light last time you were in court?
I was.
And when you described the damage, did you do your best of your ability to give as much detail as possible?
I did.
Did you qualify your memory at that time, saying to the best of my ability and recollection?
I did.
And when you qualify as a police officer with the best ability and recollection, that is recognizing that time had passed,
Time has passed, yep.
that you had a report, that you could refresh your memory.
Correct.
And did you refresh your memory with that report before you testified last time?
I did.
And when you qualified that it was to the best of your ability and recollection that account for the fact that when you looked at the report, there was no detail other than your commentary in your report that the vehicle had damage to the right rear taillight.
Correct.
And so when you qualified, you were considering human factors like time had passed,
Correct.
that your report was respectfully scant,
Correct.
that you had heard a lot about this case since that point, hadn't you?
Correct.
And so considering your memory in June of 2024,
Yes, I
when you
went back.
qualified your answer, was it considering all of those different factors that had passed in between that time?
Can you rephrase that?
Yes. When you decided to qualify your answer and you said to the best ability and recollection, and then you went on to describe what you remember from the break of the taillight. Is the reason why you used that qualification to the best ability and recollection, is it because of those human factors that had passed?
I would suppose so.
And sir, since the time you came into court on June 10, 2024, have you spoken to anybody from the defense about this case?
Yes.
How many times have you spoken to somebody from the defense about this case after you gave your testimony on June 10, 2024?
Once.
Where did you speak? Who did you speak to?
Attorney Jackson,
Did you speak to him in person or on the phone?
in person.
Okay, don't. Okay. You're not hesitating, are you?
No.
Where did you speak to him in person?
At his hotel.
How did you know where Attorney Jackson was staying?
He told me.
Did you find it odd to go visit an attorney at their hotel and talk about a case?
It was in their conference room.
Find it up.
Listen, he comes from a totally different state. He can't very well take him back to his state and ask him there.
Odd. Go to someone's
How?
hotel to speak to them about a case.
No.
Without saying the name of the hotel, where was the hotel located?
Boston.
And where were you located?
I don't feel comfortable telling you.
Sorry. Did you have to drive?
I did.
So you took the effort to go to see Mr. Jackson at this request. Did you know who Mr. Jackson was?
I did.
On TV?
I did.
When you went,
Does anybody think that the jury did not pick up on that? I don't feel comfortable telling you. We all believe that they picked up on that, right?
there to the hotel in the conference room, who else was there?
Attorney Little.
Who else?
I'm not sure of the other gentleman's name.
It was one of the gentlemen right here on the end.
Uh,
Was there one down there on the right?
no, it was not.
Somebody else?
Somebody else.
Okay. Was there anybody else there?
No.
If he did take him to the Waffle House, for instance, then he would have been accused of trying to bribe him with food.
When you were in that conference room, were you shown your police report?
No.
Were you shown your testimony?
No, but maybe he should be.
In the court.
No.
The photograph of the vehicle in the salad board, the vehicle with the missing glass, were you shown that?
No.
Hi,
Have you ever seen
Gina.
that photo before?
Of course.
And you saw it at the last event you testified at, right?
Correct.
And when you were shown that photo during your prior testimony, you never, ever suggested that that was in any way different than what you had seen in the indictment.
Nobody asked me that.
When you were asked to describe the damage, and you were shown that photograph, you never, ever suggested that there was a difference in the damage that you see in that photo compared to what you remember being.
I don't think anybody asked me to describe that.
Did you ever make a note or say anything that is dissimilar to what you remember at the last event that you testified at?
I testified that that was not the taillight the day that I saw it.
That's when you testified at the last event?
Did.
Yes?
Yes.
You said that photo does not depict what you saw?
Correct.
Yes?
Yes.
And when you testified to that at the last event, who was asking you that question?
District Attorney Lally.
Okay. And you remember making that comment under oath?
I do.
Do you remember that as well as your memory about what the taillight looked like back in Dayton?
I do.
When you were asked questions about that taillight, you had described the taillight as not completely damaged, it was cracked, and there was a piece missing but not completely damaged.
Person with the name of Hay, if you don't know, I need you to go on and Google it, okay?
Remember that testimony?
I do.
And is that accurate testimony?
It's accurate.
So, in your memory, in June 10, 2024, was that vehicle's rear tail light had a piece missing, correct?
Correct.
You said that your memory about the damage to the tail light, as you recall it when you were in Dayton back on January 29, 2022, you said your memory is as good as your memory that you said in court there was a difference between that photo and the damage, right?
Right.
Thank you for the follows, guys. Everything but the kitchen sink he's throwing
Have
at
you
the
ever
wall
read
here.
your testimony from your last proceeding?
Never.
But you have a specific memory of discussing that specific photograph? Yes?
Yes.
This is Nicholas Barrows from Dayton PD. Thank you, Katie.
May I approach?
Thank you, Gina.
Yes.
According to the trolls that come into live, there's a lot of people.
Transcript of sworn testimony on June 10, 2024. And when you reflect on your memory,
Thank you, guys.
times past, you testified that your memory of distinguishing that photo is reflected in your testimony, right? Yes.
So ask the question differently.
Your memory is that you discussed the distinction between that photo and what you saw at the last time you testified. Okay.
I'm going to allow that.
And I should take a look at it. Could you show me anywhere in your testimony? Anywhere. Where you made any statement
What do you mean? He just got up there a little bit ago.
about that photo being inconsistent with what you saw in Dayton on January 29, 2022.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Gina. I know we need a sticker. I'm just trying to plan it in my head. We need to figure out what sticker that would be. It is very intimidating. He puts off like this whole intimidating dark aura. Anybody else feel that from him too? It's insane.
It's not in.
Can I approach?
Yes.
Thank you. So respectfully, sir, your memory about distinguishing that photo is not as you thought it was and claimed it was in this transcript, correct?
Correct.
And that's not a matter of you trying to fool anybody or lying, is it?
No.
No, it's a matter of time passes and memory fades. Yes?
Yes.
And that's one real example why at the academy they teach you when you write reports to be as detailed as you can. To accommodate the fact that memories can fade. Right?
Correct.
Memories can change.
Just say
I know what I
agree.
saw.
Agree to
That
disagree.
wasn't it.
That's not what I'm asking you. Because you just testified that on the road you might look at that photo and distinguish it. But that's not accurate, is it?
No.
And so it's not a matter of you perjuring yourself or lying, it's a matter of difficulties with memory, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, correct.
And you share those same difficulties with memory as many other witnesses. Objection.
Sustained.
You have as is human nature, difficulties with memory at times, correct?
Correct.
And so that very certain memory you had about your testimony last year, you're going to say that never happened.
Correct.
You were simply mistaken, weren't you? Or something.
I don't get it either because they do have the video. And if they're going to argue semantics about writing a report, let's talk about how nobody from Canton PD wrote a single damn report.
More, please tell me.
Correct.
When you met with the attorneys in Boston,
Nicholas Barrows. He's from Dayton PD.
what'd you talk about?
It was just a way for them to meet with me and see me face to face, and then ask me how I would be subpoenaed, who would they need to send a court summons to, what my schedule was like coming up in the next months.
Those things all could have been accomplished by phone, correct?
Could have.
So the face-to-face meeting, what did you talk about? Just
I'm gonna allow it.
over here. What did you talk about? Excuse me.
So that, okay?
Over here.
In case you missed it, AJ and Bev allowed it. So sidebar.
Subsequently, what did you talk about with the attorneys when you met them at the hotel conference?
Other than that, they didn't go over my testimony. We just spoke about that I said that the taillight was not completely damaged.
Okay. Did you get into any detail about the conversation about your testimony today?
No,
When did you meet with them?
I don't have the date.
Last year, this year?
I don't have the date. I don't recall the date.
I'm not looking for a date, just a general year frame. Last year, this year?
Just say you don't know if you don't know.
Probably June. Early in this year,
Are you having some difficulty with memory about that as well?
on a certain date, yes.
What certain date? Was it this year probably, or did you met them this year?
This year,
You know what month you met them this year?
I wouldn't know the month.
Certainly you talked about this issue with the taillight, didn't you?
Yes,
When you talk about the issue with the taillight, did anybody from the defense offer you any information?
no,
They asked you questions about it.
no,
So you went to a meeting in a Boston hotel in a conference room, and nobody talked about the taillight.
I'm gonna allow it.
Bias
I'll ask
Bev.
another question instead.
That's the sticker we need. It needs to say Bias Bev. Remind me. Thank you. He's not by the microphone, that's why.
Have you had an opportunity to see other evidence of that taillight being damaged that morning before you saw it?
on the 29th of January, no,
The video that was shown to you with the tow truck, had you seen that before today?
yes.
Who showed it to you?
From seeing it on TV, and
Was it shown to you during your conference room meeting at the hotel?
it was not.
So you looked and studied and watched this case a little bit?
With all due respect, sir, I don't live under a rock. It's all over social media and the news. You can't avoid it.
I'm not criticizing you for this much, I'm just asking you. Have you been exposed to this case since you made those observations indictment on January 29, 2022?
I have.
Have you seen other video footage and evidence about that taillight since January 29, 2022?
I have.
Have you seen other information since you last testified last summer about the taillight?
I have.
And seeing this extraneous information, this other information, do you think that played a part in some of your difficult memory? Objection.
The Commonwealth is.
Your Honor, can we approach?
Okay?
AJ is not a happy camper. This isn't long enough for me to fast forward it. The sidebar is a quick one. If only he would. No, he's from Dayton PD.
You've seen quite a bit of information about this case, the issue regarding the taillights since you first made the observations back in 2022. Would that be fair to say?
It would be fair to say.
And based on all the additional information you've read and seen, would you agree it's had some effect on your memory?
I guess.
Janae, we have like the whole entire, everybody picked who's gonna pick who. Like we already have it all worked out here.
I don't want you to guess. You testified that you made explanations at the last trial that you didn't make, right?
Correct.
You had a memory as you testified in direct examination under oath, and you tried your best about things that just didn't happen, right?
Right.
Would you agree that you have some difficulty with your memory?
I'd agree.
Maureen Hancock for Bev.
I want to show you some evidence of that taillight before you had a chance to see it in Dayton. If we could have
Who do we pick for Hank?
the ring video at 5:07:58, please.
And didn't we pick what is her name? My brain is not properly functioning. Thank you. Yes, that for Karen, yes. And
Have you seen this video before, sir?
is it,
I have.
Before you proceed.
I can't remember her name.
Have you seen this on social media?
The news, social media.
Has anybody else shown you this video?
No.
How many times do you think you've been exposed to this video?
Too many to count.
Because you were involved in this case, and I'm going to say as a predicate, there were no orders for you not to look at anything. I'm not suggesting any impropriety. But because
Maureen
you were involved in
Hancock.
this case and issues regarding the taillight, do you think you had a particular interest when things like this came on TV and social media to take a look compared to your memory?
Did I have a
Yes.
particular interest? No, I didn't know. I didn't follow this case
But you've seen this many, many times.
because of what is out there on social media and the news.
I understand.
Please play this, please.
We already have Maureen Hancock. Didn't you guys pick Matt Damon for Alessi? I don't know. I have no idea.
Stop, please. You see that white part of the back mirror of the taillight? Objection.
I'm going to allow it.
See that? Sir?
Can we zoom in a little bit more? I can.
Can or cannot?
I can.
Can. C-A-N can?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you please?
You zoomed out really quick.
Bring it back. Sorry. Back more. Open. Right there. Zoom, please. You see, sir?
The whole thing's pixelated. How's he supposed to see it?
Sir?
I can see that.
Is that consistent with the damage that you saw when you looked at that Lexus in Dayton hours later?
Consistent.
Can we go to Exhibit 10, please? And before you show it, I have a couple questions. This was a snowstorm, kind of like a blizzard that day.
Yes,
But when you got to the driveway, it had not been
Yeah.
shoveled or plowed.
correct.
There was quite a bit of snow accumulating and ongoing.
Yes,
And there was snow coming down on top of everything, the ground, the streets, the cars, correct?
correct.
And snow was accumulating, did you notice, on cars and packing onto cars?
Yes,
When you looked at this house, when you looked at the defendant's Lexus indictment, you didn't go over and scoop out any of the snow that was in that broken taillight, did you?
I did not.
You didn't try to remove any snow off it or that was accumulated inside of it?
I did not.
And the snow that was, there was snow packed on that car, wasn't there?
There was.
There was snow packed around the light, wasn't it?
There was.
And would you agree with the snow, since you didn't tamper with it or try to remove anything, that could impede your ability to accurately observe the depth of the damage? Would you agree with that?
I would.
If we could have exhibit 10, please.
Hopefully, Adam.
Does that appear to be the same Lexus you looked at when it was in Dayton? And it's a far view, so I don't want you to guess. If you're not sure, you can tell me.
I wouldn't be able to tell you. I can't.
We have exhibit 11, please.
He has a habit of stepping away from the mic. I think he does this on purpose. Thank you, Lindsay.
See that right tail light, the white part?
I can.
We're delayed.
Yes.
Looks like snow was packed on it.
Does it look like there's a right tail light there?
Does not.
Right there.
This is before you saw the car in Dayton. Do you know that, or you wouldn't know that?
That doesn't look like the Reed's driveway.
Do you know if this photograph was taken before or after you made your observations in Dayton?
I do not.
The right rear tail light and the missing parts of it, is that consistent?
Guys, on my app, my iPad, it doesn't allow me to flip it for some reason. On my TikTok account on my iPad, there's no flipping of it. So it is on the passenger side.
With what you saw around 3:27 on January 29th, 2022.
Yes.
I have no further questions.
Okay, light on, please, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll be brief.
Here goes AJ.
Sergeant,
Please, AJ, ask why he didn't want to tell Alessi. Or, I'm sorry, I did it again. Please ask why he didn't want to tell Brennan where he lives, because we all heard that and we want to hear what he has to say.
did you celebrate your birthday 2 years ago?
I did.
Kind of a big deal. It's your birthday, right?
Yes.
What day of the week was your birthday 2 years ago?
No idea.
You have a difficult memory, sir.
Yes.
The fact that you had a birthday, you recall, correct?
Correct.
The day of the week of that birthday may fall by the wayside in your mind, right?
Right.
Sustain is to inform Mr. Jackson as
Of
your
course.
witness.
The fact that you can't remember the day of the week, does that mean that you have a bad memory?
Objection.
I'm gonna allow it.
Correct.
You remember being in Dayton, correct? Being called out to Dayton to the residence of the Reeds.
Correct.
Do you remember the time?
I do.
Do you remember the weather?
I do.
Do you remember who you met there?
I do.
Do you remember the conversations that you had?
I do.
Do you remember the phone calls that you received?
I do.
The first one?
I do.
The second one?
I do.
Do you remember being in the garage and speaking with someone?
I do.
Do you remember it was this lady, pretty lady right here in the blue?
I do.
Do you remember meeting Mr. Reed?
Briefly.
Handsome gentleman with the gold tie?
I do.
You remember all that? Right?
Mhm.
Do you remember the SUV?
I do.
Do you remember the condition of the taillight?
I do.
You were asked whether or not you saw Trooper Proctor in any way manipulate that right rear taillight while it was out at Dayton, while you were there, correct?
Correct.
You said no.
Yes,
Honestly,
Courtney.
I never saw him touch it, right?
Correct.
Were you in the Sally Port in Canton PD? I'm sorry, in Canton, in the Sally Port at the police station
I wasn't.
At 5:30 p.m.?
Sistine.
At any point, did you ever go to the Sally Port at Canton PD that day?
I did not.
Do you have any idea what did or didn't happen inside the Sally Port?
Sistine.
Why would you sustain
You were
that?
asked by Mr. Brennan, you could have taken photos had you wanted to, correct?
Correct.
And certainly you could have, right?
Correct.
Was that your vehicle that was being seized?
No.
You were simply there to assist another officer, right?
For Mr. Jackson.
Of course. What were you there to do?
Just to assist another agency.
Would it have been normal protocol for you to photograph that vehicle?
No.
Did you see Trooper Proctor photograph the vehicle?
No.
Did you see Sergeant Buchanan photograph the vehicle?
No.
By the way, you and I did meet once before, correct?
Correct.
Was that before or after you testified last year at another hearing?
After.
And you were called by whom last year at the other hearing? The defense or the Commonwealth?
The Commonwealth.
You testified for them?
Correct.
So that's stricken beyond the scope.
Why would you want to strike the fact that he was a witness for the Commonwealth the first time? Let's see. Because it didn't fit their narrative.
Did the Commonwealth ever contact you after your testimony at the hearing last year?
They did not.
Did they ever call you on the telephone?
After?
Correct.
No.
Did they ever send you a subpoena?
No.
And you testified last year that the taillight was cracked, but not, or damaged, but not completely broken, correct?
Sustained.
You and I met in a hotel in a conference room, correct?
Correct.
Anything sketchy or nefarious about that?
No.
Did I introduce myself to you?
You did.
You happen to know I live in Los Angeles?
Correct.
I don't have a house, right?
Correct.
I don't have an office out here, correct?
Yes.
Sustained.
Do you know whether or not I have an office?
I do not.
Do you remember me asking you if you would mind meeting at a hotel where I was staying in a conference room?
I do.
Okay. Do you have any problem with that?
Nope.
Did you find that unusual?
No.
Wait, who do we say
Did
was
you
going
and
to
I
play
ever
Jen?
speak, ever, before your testimony last year?
No.
Did I ever tell you how I wanted you to testify?
No.
Did I ever tell you what to say?
No.
Did I show you any testimony?
No.
Did I play you any video?
No.
Did I show you a single photograph?
No.
During that conversation, did you tell me how to subpoena you?
I did.
Did you tell me where the subpoena should be directed?
I did.
Did you tell me your vacation schedule?
I did.
Did you tell me your availability and willingness to testify?
I did.
That's
Did
just...
we talk about any other thing of substance other than
No.
that and whether or not you recalled what your testimony was from last year?
That was all we talked about.
As you sit here, Sergeant Barrows, do you have any difficulty recalling what the condition of that taillight was on January 29th, 2022, at about 3 or 3:15 in the afternoon when you saw it? Any
No.
difficulty whatsoever?
No.
Do you remember the condition
We picked Amber Heard. Now I remember.
of that taillight?
I do.
Was the condition of that taillight the same as the photo that I showed you on my
Good, Debbie.
examination? No. Okay, that's all right.
For Jen. Yeah, we did.
You would agree that your memory has changed since last time you testified in this courthouse.
Yes.
In the photo I showed you, the close-up with the missing right rear taillight, is that consistent with your memory of what you saw at night on January 29, 2022?
Objection.
I'm going to allow it. It's opened up. It was opened up.
Is it consistent with what you saw on January 29, 2022?
It is.
Thank you.
All right, Sergeant, you are all set.
Thank you.
All right, so jurors, I know I need to talk to the lawyers about a couple of things, so this seems like a good spot to just send you home for the day rather than bringing out witnesses. So Those same cautions, please do not discuss this case with anyone. Don't do any independent research or investigation into the case. If you happen to see, hear, or read anything about this case, please disregard it and let us know, and be careful with your social media. Remember, tomorrow's a half a day, we'll finish by 1.
All rise for the court, please.
They're finishing by 1 tomorrow? I thought you said last week that it was going to be a full week, ma'am. Guys, I just want to say thank you. I saw that we're at 144,000 likes, so thank you so very much. It means a lot to me. Thank you. No, there is court. It's just done at 1 tomorrow. 10:30 Central Time. But don't go anywhere because, you know, they're still doing stuff.
Jurisdiction, the court, please be seated.
So there have been some motions, I think, piling up.
Oh, yeah, there has.
2 I have not had a chance to read yet, maybe more. Commonwealth's motion for reciprocal discovery, and then the defendant put in writing about the discovery from Aperture. I've not had a chance to read the prosecutor's opposition. I'd like to do all that before I hear you on that. But the only one that I did read is the reciprocal discovery. Ms. Giannetti, are you examining both Brian Loughran and Karina Kolakithis?
Yes, and there are 3 issues that we should dispatch with today.
All right, so why don't you, sure, I have time, I just don't know what you're talking about. Sure.
What was that? Let me look. How many of you know about the 3 missing girls in Washington State? The ones that went missing when they were supposed to be going to stay with their dad? They have been found deceased. Thank you for sending that, Sandra. Let me see how long this sidebar lasts. Thank you, Debbie. That reminds me of the 3 little boys. My understanding is they're looking for the father. That's where the girls were supposed to be. Mm-hmm. You know who I'm talking about, yeah. They were found at a campground. I'll check in just a minute, guys. I just don't want to come back to this when it's at the very end of the video, or the end of the court live. Doorman. That's what reminds me of a Storman. And I know that I haven't been covering as much news as I usually do, but when I cover these trials, for some reason, it's starting to take a lot out of me. So I'm getting tired a lot quicker than I used to. Sandra, can you do me a favor and post that in the Facebook group? Because I believe I did share the story about them being missing. That way people know. By the way, if you guys are not in our Facebook group, we do have one. It's Criminal Musings. Thank you. And if you guys are not subscribed on my YouTube, Michelle's Criminal Musings, I put the lives from here there every day. I don't blame you, Kat. I wish I knew. There's so many people out there that would do anything to be a parent. You could give this to any of those people instead of ending their lives. I don't get it. Chad Daybell's already been sentenced. Yeah, he's already been sentenced too. Well, I guess they're done. Hinks man bag. Thank you. Yeah, I saw that too. I had to click on it before, I think it was yesterday, to make sure I saw that it was an older article. Alright, that's it for this, guys. Yep, that's the end of this. If you missed a part, don't worry, I'll put the live on my YouTube. Can you guys do me a favor? If you guys watch the YouTube videos, can you please hit the thumbs up over there? I would greatly appreciate that on the videos. Alright, let's see what we have in the headlines. Let's see what we could find out here. You guys remember that attack in Boulder? The family of him has been arrested. No idea why, no idea what for. Taylor Schabusiness back in court today. I'm looking for anything. For Lori, no. They are due back in court tomorrow. That's if Lori even feels better. Lori was wheeled into court yesterday in a wheelchair, and she cried and said, "I cannot do jury selection." And she argued against being back in court Wednesday. She said that put too much pressure on her to get better. Lori Vallow Daybell, also known as the Doomsday Mom, married to Chad Daybell. She was already found guilty of unaliving her 2 children and her 5th husband's first wife. And then she was found guilty of her 4th husband's conspiracy to commit. Yeah, don't worry. I've got a whole tab on her above my videos. It will say Lori. I think it says Vallow Daybell on it, actually. So all my coverage is there. But if you need to see the last trial, it's on my YouTube. What is your business doing? Yep, I was going to play that. I just want to look really quick and see if there's something in here. And here's a side note here, guys. Steve Lawson, the one that was found guilty and sentenced to 17 years for Crystal Rogers, the defense has put in for an acquittal. Why am I not seeing anything on the girls here? Let me check the live one. He was found guilty for destroying evidence and I believe conspiracy for Crystal Rogers. She's mom of 5 that has never been found. There's 2 more that are going to be going on trial soon for unaliving her as well. I'm not seeing it, guys. All right, let's see what your business is doing. They ain't taking no chances with this time. I'm just gonna say trigger warning in advance. She blew a kiss. You see that? This chick is... You should have put a spit mask on her too. The hell I would sit next to her again. You shook her hand? Do you not know what happened to the other lawyers? You got that about right with Hannibal Lecter. Actually, she was obsessed with Bundy, and her goal was to be the equivalent of the female version of Bundy. A former boyfriend of hers, they were having a night together on some substances,
The
and
court will
she
call
chopped him up.
24 CF 1048 State of Wisconsin versus.
Not only did she chop him up, but she also brought a crock pot with her.
Your Honor, good morning. Attorney Christopher T. Freilich appearing with the defendant, Taylor D. Shabusiness. She's here today.
But she's attacked 2 other of her attorneys, and that's why she's in the chair she's in.
All right. This matter is set for plea and sentence.
Wisconsin.
Mr. Freilich, what's the status? Your Honor, thank you. Good morning. I can tell the court that I've talked to my client on the telephone. We've reviewed some discovery materials in this case. The case is not resolved. We ask that the matter be calendared for a jury trial in this case. All right. Do you think 2 or 3 days? For sure 2, probably 3, just to play it safe. All right.
Taylor
Ms.
Shabusiness.
Block, are we in compliance with victims' rights?
Yeah.
Any thought?
She has still a case against her for attacking 2 of her previous lawyers in the courtroom on camera. Yes. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a see. If I remember correctly, she also attacked a prison guard. So I'm not sure which charge this is for or all of the above. She's in that special chair. Special chair that special people earn. Taylor Shabusiness.
2 or 3 days?
I think 3 to be safe.
I agree. I have some September dates, some October dates.
I'd ask for maybe an October date if that's okay.
I have October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
SCHA and then business.
I already have some trials those 2 days, Your Honor, but I'm open after that. What about 13th, 14th, and 15th?
No.
I've got another homicide trial on the 14th.
Unless he's totally
Could it be
changed.
the week before, October 6th? Just
Doesn't look like the same guy to me.
I'm wide open that whole week. I could do the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Could you do that?
Yes.
I think
you
you
so
need
much.
to keep her strapped to that chair, sir.
Ms. Block, that works for the state.
I'm checking with DA Tony, but he'll have to ask for a reschedule if he doesn't get back to me quickly.
All right.
I'll have to double check if that's the same lawyer. Now that he turned his head, it
The
looks like he
state's
might
witness
be.
list
but I
and
don't
any
think
motion
so.
that needs to be heard prior to trial will be due on September 10th. The defense witness list and motions eliminated will be due on September 24th.
And a list of proposed jury instructions will be due on October 1st.
Should we start taking bets on whether or not she's going to fire her attorney too?
Not at this time, Your Honor. If I need to, could I just contact the court?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
So, one other thing I want to,
Your Honor.
Yeah.
Attorney Tony did just get back to me. He has an intentional homicide October 8th through the 10th.
I think the prosecutor is who she blew that kiss to, either the prosecutor or the judge.
what does the 27th through the 31st look like for you, Mr. Freilich?
27th, 31st of October.
Yes. 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st. I have all week, so we can find 3 days in there.
Sure. I'm open. I just have a final divorce hearing on October 30th at 1:30.
Okay.
But otherwise, if we could start at the beginning of the week, that
Sure.
would work out great.
Block.
So it looks like she's gonna be in court for Elvis Burgos for a birthday gift. She's already been found guilty of murder. Very, very graphic and gross murder.
That works.
Okay. All right.
He has a Len bias the week later, so he'd prefer earlier in the week.
Sure.
And violent.
We'll schedule it for October 27th, 28th, and 29th.
Okay.
The state's witness list and any motion that needs to be heard prior to trial will be due on September 29th then. The defense witness list and motions eliminated will be due on October 13th. And a list of jury instructions will be due on October 20th. So the October 27th, 28th, and 29th is the jury trial date. Those other dates, Mr. Freilich, will be on the hearing notice for the jury trial.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Taylor
So
should
last
have
time
this.
we were in court, we were scheduled for a preliminary hearing. At the preliminary hearing, there was an outburst by Ms. Shabusiness. At
What you call an outburst, I call assault, sir.
that point, she was tackled to the floor and she was removed from court. And then we proceeded with the preliminary hearing.
Because after that hearing, she went on to attack 2 lawyers, and I believe the third was a prison guard.
At that point, I found that Ms. Shabusiness had waived her right to be personally present at that court date. And so a preliminary hearing was held. She was bound over and then bound over to this court. An arraignment was held, and we're here today scheduling. I bring this up only to point out, I think I have a duty to Ms. Shabusiness to warn her that any future outbursts like that could prevent her from being personally present even at the trial. So I just want to make sure that she's aware of that. She's here today, everything's fine. But moving forward, I just want to make sure that she's aware of that. You understand that, Mr. Freilich?
I understand that, Your Honor. Understood.
Okay.
Your Honor?
Actually,
Yes.
he might be
Today,
the same
my
lawyer.
client is in a chair with wheels. Her legs are strapped. Her waist is strapped, and she's got handcuffs on. I would ask respectfully to the court, at future hearings, I'd ask that she not be shackled. I have a
Are you kidding me? Are you serious right now? Did you forget what she did? In the courtroom? To 2 lawyers? I believe one of them might have been yourself.
relationship with her. I've represented her before. I think we have a
Yeah,
good
it's him.
relationship, and I'd ask that you consider my request for her not to be shackled during the trial or any future proceedings.
Do you understand whose safety is on the line here, sir? It's your safety that's on the line because she attacks her lawyers. Jesus.
I guess I'm not going to take a position on that right now. Obviously, at the trial, there's going to have to be some type of
Yes.
we're going to have to address it. Maybe we should address it. Maybe we should schedule a motion hearing or something before then.
Okay.
To address that issue. I think, obviously she has a right to be in civilian clothes and those type things. I'm sure you're gonna ask for that. And
Yes, I will.
so
Hold the hell on. This chick tried to attack him, and he's trying to get her out of all restraints and get her put in civilian clothing when she's already been found guilty of a crime and is serving life in prison? The hell?
okay. Ms. Block, do you want to schedule something now about that, or do you
Yeah,
want to
that's
wait?
fine. That's
Okay.
something I can handle if Eric's not available for or Jeff.
Okay.
If you're gonna Google Taylor Shabusiness's case, be warned, it's very graphic.
I mean, you would agree that she'll be present for the trial when it begins in civilian clothes and those type of things, right, Ms. Blatt?
Yes.
I can put in a motion on that, Your Honor, as well.
Okay, if you're here, if you want to get a date, I can give you a date. Do you want to do the afternoon or the morning of the 10th? I think, did we say the 8th, 9th, and 10th you were available? Or was it the following week?
I think you said the trial October 27, 28, 29, right?
We moved it, but originally wasn't it? I don't know who has their phone up back there.
This is Taylor Shabusiness. She was found guilty not too long ago of unaliving sort of a boyfriend, former boyfriend that she hooked up with and did horrible things to. Just trust me. And then went on to attack her lawyers and a prison guard.
I think you said October 8th, maybe, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Initially, right?
Yep.
I'm open that day.
Yeah, Eric's in an intentional homicide, but I can handle that motion.
Okay. Do you want to do 8:30?
Sure.
Okay.
Works.
Let's do that. We'll address.
Not just once, 2 times. She attacked the lawyer she has now and the one before him in the courtroom. The video is out there.
October 8th. If you want to file something on that, Mr. Freilich, but
Okay.
We'll adjust it on October 8th then at 8:30.
Sounds good.
Anything else from the state?
I just want to put on the record and
Yes,
verify with
too.
Attorney Freilich, we have sent Discovery an e.com link and certified medical records. So that's all we have. It has all been sent to Attorney Freilich as of April 21st.
All right. Mr. Freilich, anything else?
Your Honor, the state did give me discovery. I received video discovery. I've looked at the file numerous times. I also secured the preliminary hearing transcript from April 4th of 2025. So I do have all that information.
Okay. All right.
Your Honor.
Yep.
Another thing, I can file a motion on this.
Yep.
I talked to my client about it. Because of the incident, whatever happened on April 4th of 2025, I wasn't there. But does the court feel that it needs to maybe recuse itself because of the observations and whatever you witnessed during those proceedings? I would just put it out there. I could maybe file a motion on that. We could take it up at the appropriate time. But I just wanted to kind of put that out there because obviously.
Listen, buddy, I'm going to give you some personal advice. She's attacked 2 other lawyers. You want her out of the chair and in civilian clothes and not restrained whatsoever, and you want to recuse the court. I'm going to highly advise you to not do that.
Something happened and the court was witness to that.
Sure.
She gives a face before she attacks, and she's already used it once today.
I don't feel that way. The incident happened. I don't really think one way or another about it, quite frankly. So
Understood.
So if you're asking me to recuse myself, if you want to file a motion, you certainly can. But if you're asking me if I'm somehow feel any way, one way or another towards Ms. Shabusiness, I don't, because of that incident. It doesn't change.
Understood, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I'll talk further with my client about it.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much.
Do it at your own
Ms.
peril,
Block,
buddy.
do you want to be heard on that?
I think it doesn't affect the state's opinion at all. I don't remember. I think it was Attorney Leach who handled the prelim, who would not be handling this trial.
Sure.
But other than that, if defense wants to file the motion, I think they are entitled to, but it doesn't change the state's opinion of
Yes,
anything.
court appointed.
Sure. Okay. All right. Well, we'll address.
Not just enter at your own risk. This chick needs a flashing warning sign above her head. Some people come with warning labels. She needs a flashing sign that never, ever is taken off.
If he files something.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you so much.
Anything else from the state?
No.
Defense?
No, thank you.
Case adjourned.
Be careful. That's the same face she used before she attacked her last 2 lawyers, sir. Taylor Shabusiness of Wisconsin.
Yep, see ya.
Like I told him, I would do it at your own peril. She's already been found guilty of murder. After that, she attacked 2 of her lawyers and a guard in the prison. All right, let me see what we have on the kids. Hold on. All right, so I'm going to pull up the article on the father for the 3 girls. If it lets me click it anyways. Since it's giving me difficulty, I'll just read it from here. 3 missing girls found dead in Washington State. Father suspected of unaliving them, and he's still at large. Tuesday, as authorities warned that the military, and then it's cut off. It's giving me problems. The girls were 9, 5, and 8. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's not letting me access the article. Let me try refreshing it. There we go. There we go. We're in business. How could you do that while looking at these faces? A Washington State father suspected of unaliving his 3 daughters remained at large Tuesday as authorities warned the military veteran could pose a significant risk. Wenatchee Police Department said that Travis Decker, 32, is wanted on first-degree murder charges in connection with the unalivings. The girls, ages 5, 8, and 9, were found dead Monday after authorities discovered Decker's pickup truck near Campground, roughly 130 miles east of Seattle, according to the department's news release. Decker was not with the truck, the department said. His daughter's bodies were found during the search of the immediate area. This is the POS that you're looking for here, guys. So take screenshots, do whatever you gotta do. This is the POS that just unalived his 3 children and that there's a manhunt for right now. Don't worry, it's in our Facebook group too. Additional details about their deaths or possible motives were not immediately made available. Authorities began searching for the girls after their mother filed a civil complaint Friday night when Decker did not bring them home after a planned visitation. I could almost hear the mother scream when she got notified of this. I'll join you. You know how I sometimes say that I would give up my eternal resting place in heaven in order to guide certain people to the gates of hell, make sure they get in the department they need to, and then stand guard outside of hell for eternity to make sure they never get back out? Travis Decker just made that list. All right. For anybody that hasn't known, John Paul Miller, J.P. Miller, is he's got married to Susie Skinner on National Narcissist Day. Okay, let me see. It hasn't come through yet. Wait, here it is. A woman was tossed out of the courthouse for screaming at Diddy. And thank you, Sandra, for keeping me on my toes here. Okay, let's hear what this was. It won't be exact because there's some words that I can't use because TikTok thinks we're 5. A heckler was removed from the courtroom after disrupting proceedings. Sean Diddy Combs' trial on Tuesday, June 3rd. Combs' federal sex trafficking trial has entered a 4th week in the Southern District of New York courtroom in downtown Manhattan. The heckler, a woman, yelled, "Diddy," and several profanities before the judge ordered her removed from the courtroom. You want to know what she said, don't you? Okay, I can only read maybe one of them. The other two I cannot read. This is a People magazine article if you guys want to find it. One of them is, "These mother effers are laughing at you." The other two, for Taylor should businesses, I didn't write down the date. My mind's in 50 places. Yeah, that's something that I wasn't going to say. No, the trial's not done. Just for the day. Just for today. Don't worry if you missed any of it. I'll be putting it on YouTube as soon as it downloads after the live. October 8th. Thank you. I thought they were going to do September. Thank you, thank you. It'll be really interesting to see if she's still held to a chair and strapped in, because this attorney wants her to be free despite her attacking two former attorneys. Not a problem, not a problem. She also said that you're laughing at a black man's legacy, and pull your GUN out. And then the word that Sandra typed and said, "I dare you." Thank you, thank you. During the ordeal, Combs sat in his chair. The outburst slightly delayed proceedings before Eddie Garcia, a former security worker in the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles, took the stand. Combs is charged. We already know what he's charged with. Thus far, the high-profile trial has featured. Okay, we already know that too. All right, so that's all. That's all we have on that heckler. No idea. No idea. Oh, and also, do you guys know that Brad and Angelina's child has changed their name? You sent me another one? Okay, hold on. Okay. This one is on WXII 12 News. And it says two self-unalivings were reported in May at a residential treatment center for young girls in Asheville, according to, I'm going to mispronounce this, Buncombe County Sheriff's Office. Authorities confirmed the Sheriff's Office responded to the self-unalivings at Asheville Academy on May 3rd and May 29th. Yeah, I do think that he did it, yes, and more. When there's one, that's cause for huge alarm, but there's two, and we're just supposed to assume that those were really self-unalivings. All right, here's the full statement from the Sheriff's Office. Our hearts are with the families of the two girls at Asheville Academy. BCSO Patrol at CID and CSI responded to two self-unalivings involving juveniles earlier there this month, May 3rd and May 29th. We understand that there are many questions. BCSO is in contact with NCDHHS, the agency that regulates the facility, and our priority is ensuring the families have everything that they need. WYFF News 4 reached out to the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, and the department said as of May 31st, no child remain at Asheville Academy. Good. Good. They're actually doing it right. The department added that the license for the facility has not been suspended, but a suspension of admission was issued on May 28th. The NCDHHS said officials from the department were at the academy on May 30th and June 2nd. The department released the following statement. Long ass statement. We extend our deepest sympathies to the family, loved ones, and communities impacted by the loss of these young lives. NCD-HHS is committed to conducting thorough investigation with our county partners, including the Buncombe County Department of Social Services and Buncombe Sheriff's Office. Together, we will take every appropriate step to ensure the health and well-being of children and youth at Asheville Academy. The Asheville Academy website says the following on the website about its center. Asheville Academy is a leading residential treatment center for girls aged 10 to 14 and 14 to 18 on a case-by-case basis. Our lower and upper schools provide a clinically informed, supportive environment where students can overcome challenges such as anxiety, depression, trauma, and more. Are you sure? Sorry, I added the are you sure. Through customized treatment plans, experienced therapists, and engaging therapeutic activities, we help students build confidence, develop skills, and achieve lasting growth. If you're searching for a boarding school that focuses on healing, personal growth, and family reconnection, Asheville Academy is here to support your child's journey for success. WYFF News 4 reached out to Asheville Academy, and officials provided 2 statements. Asheville Academy has made the difficult decision to voluntarily close its doors. We inform families of this decision and prioritized a smooth departure for all students by Saturday, May 31st. They said they released the following statements on May 31st, so this is the second statement. We are utterly heartbroken by the loss of young life and share our deepest condolences with the family and everyone touched by this tragedy. Out of respect for those grieving and in the deference to ongoing investigations, we cannot provide further comment at that time. So that's what they had to say on that. And if you or your loved one is in a crisis, you can call 988 for the S word that I can't say, and Crisis Lifeline. Doesn't say for good, just says that they're closed. I don't know if it's for good though. I will say the fact that they took the initiative to close, well, after 2 deaths. Thank you for saying that. Option 1 for veterans, yes. The fact that they closed on their own is good, but it took them 2. All right, let me just check and see if there's any other headlines that I might have missed for us for today. A pair of bloody gloves were found at a park where Sadie Robinson's leg was found. We're still on those 2 missing escaped prisoners, right? It's still at 2. I haven't seen anything saying otherwise. I wish they would catch them, but they've done really good so far. This is just one of the long crying ones here. Monster dad unalives wife over baby's gender. He wanted a boy. Who, John? Because I just went through a lot of people, so I need to know who you're talking about. Which case? Honey, I will tell you. You just got to tell me which case, because I went through a lot of cases. Yes, that guy scares the shit out of me, to be honest with you, Megan. I agree, Sandra. Are you talking about Karen Reed? It's just my personal opinion that I believe she is not guilty. She was framed, in my opinion. And if you missed any of the case, any of the trial, it's up on my YouTube. I put them up every day after we're done. What kind of parent or spouse unalives their partner over the baby's gender being a girl, not a boy? Jesus. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I'm thinking that too. I can only give you what I know so far, and what is in the news right now is that Karen Reed dropped her boyfriend, a Boston cop, off at a party at a sort of friend's house. It was being alleged that she had hit him with her vehicle and then left him there to succumb in the snow. However, we have seen witness after witness, and the most recent one today, saying that that wasn't done to him by a vehicle, that was done to him by a dog. Almost everyone that the Commonwealth has brought up on the stand has either perjured themselves or been evasive and combative. This isn't something I'm used to with trials I cover. I don't usually hope that the person is acquitted, but there's a first for everything, and this woman deserves to be free. He did change it, yes. He did. I also have a tab above my videos that says Karen Reed on it. You could find other videos there too as well. You're very welcome. I think that's it, guys. And thank you for all the follows, guys. And thank you so much. I see that we did get over 150,000 taps. I just want you guys to know I greatly appreciate that. BK, it was. And I did a video, I think it was a couple weeks back, showing what was shown to us today, which is that car being loaded onto the tow truck, and his statement in the first trial. So if you guys haven't seen that, check it out. You can ask anything you want. Oh yeah, I'm going to be. After this, I'm going to be taking a really, really, really intense nap. Like I already have it planned. I already picked my pillow and blanket and everything. I'm a dork, I know. Thank you, Luna. Yes, this is the second trial. Burroughs didn't see the car until they called him to say, hey, professional courtesy, we're going to be coming to pick up a vehicle in your jurisdiction. Can you meet us there? So he met them there, and he gave his impression on what he saw, and that was that the taillight just had a small part missing and broken, not anything like we've seen today. So he saw it the day that they picked it up. Thank you. You know, here's a side note, guys. Fun fact about me, when I eat gummy bears, I bite the head off first because I worry that it might cause pain for the rest of the body. Just thought I'd share you with that last parting gift. The sidebar, hold on, let me try to get my memory back there. For the motions that have been filed in court, one of them from Ms. Reed herself, to my understanding. Here, let me see if I could show you those motions. Oh, look, that's how much Kelly Dever, whatever you want to call her name, is paid. Fun fact. When this happened, look at the amount in the bottom. Look at the amount she's getting paid today. She's making over $142,000. Maybe changing your statement really pays off for some people. That's a significant jump. Yes, he was the chief of police. He's no longer living. He passed away. We don't know how. It's never been released. But by the time anyone thought about going to ask for that video, it was already gone. Now, these are a list of the motions, just one page of the motions. Let me drop my backup, hold on. This is just one page of the motions. There's a few I'd love to get my hands on, but I haven't been able to yet. Quite a few, actually. Huh, she still hasn't decided on Michael Easter. Honorary my ass. Okay, that is a lot of Michelle. Sorry, I was not prepared for that. Are you talking about Barrows? No. Nope. That is it, guys. I am all done here. I know, I scared myself. I did. I'm all done here. You guys have a great night. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 10:30 Central Time. Have a good night, guys.